What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, we saw the comparison that Max Kellerman made to Gervonta Tank Davis and Mike Tyson, which is a very fair comparison. So people have reached out to me, asked me my thoughts on the comparison, Mike Tyson and Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Mike Tyson is way more highly accomplished than Gervonta Tank Davis, not even close. He was the undisputed heavyweight champion. He defended his undisputed titles. But the comparisons are fair. Here's why the comparisons are fair. Because Mike Tyson, in the biggest fights of his career, he lost. He lost the biggest fights of his career. But Mike Tyson, he got in the ring with those guys, right? But he lost the biggest fights of his career. He lost to Holyfield. He lost to Lennox Lewis, right? Now, he got big victories, don't get me wrong. There's some big victories, but against the quote-unquote legends of his generation, the Hall of Famers in his generation, like outside of Larry Holmes was washed. Larry Holmes was washed up, right? But Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, he lost those fights, right? And many people are chalking it up to him being not himself after the Buster Douglas fight. You have some people say, well, since Customato passed away, he was never the same. But the reality is, he became a world champion and an undisputed world champion after Customato passed away. That's the reality. And that was after Customato passed away. He achieved his biggest accomplishments after Customato passed away. So, and this is no knock on Mike Tyson, it's just the truth. When he achieved his biggest accomplishments, that was after Customato, right? Now, people will say he came unhinged after Customato, but he achieved all his biggest accomplishments after Customato. And then what happened is he couldn't control himself with the success that he had. With all the success that he had no support, no real support, just leeches around him, right? And maybe that's the same situation and scenario that Gervonta Tank Davis has around him, right? Very similar, right? He got Coach Calvin Ford, like Mike Tyson had Customato, right? So it makes you wonder, right? But Tank Davis, like Mike Tyson used to say all the time, he was in fear when he stepped in the ring. And another thing is that you got to take into consideration, Mike Tyson got in boxing to get out his circumstances. So is Gervonta Tank Davis. It's something about these dudes. They have a lot of power, a lot of talent, but at the end, they just simply have a hard time putting it together. They just have a hard time. They suffer mentally. They're in the same place. Remember, Mike Tyson mental issues, it always haunted him. Tank Davis said that in comparison to Mike Tyson, he can't put it together, right? He said that, Tank said, I can't find peace and be vicious in the ring. And I think that Tank understands if he don't have that edge against guys like Shakur Stevenson, against Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and mentally, like Evander Holyfield did with Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield wasn't afraid, right? Lennox Lewis wasn't afraid, right? Just like in those fights, they broke Mike Tyson mentally. And we started to see pieces of that take place where Tank fought Lamont Roach. He hit him with the shoulder bar. He took ill-advised knee, right? His character, he was out of character. Lamont Roach started to get under his skin because Lamont Roach, like Evander Holyfield, understood what it took and wasn't afraid of him. Evander Holyfield had sparring sessions where he said Mike Tyson was a bully in camp. And when he came in camp, he started to bully Mike Tyson. And once he seen that Mike Tyson backed off, when he was the bully, he stated, well, that's when he knew he could beat Mike Tyson. Lamont Roach had those 2 amateur fights, and he seen Tank Davis's body language. He seen the makeup of his character. He understood that. And he understood, listen, I could get up, I can rattle this dude. Remember, before the fight, he kept saying, this dude will come unhinged. I can rattle him. He'll come unhinged. Right? And sure enough, he was coming unhinged, like Mike Tyson. We saw the air biting situation, right? Tank Davis took an ill-advised, bizarre knee. That's going to go down in history. That knee that Tank Davis took in the fight, that's going to go down in history. That's always going to be remembered forever. Just like not to the same magnitude of Mike Tyson biting Holyfield's ear, but it's going to go down. It's not going to be forgotten ever, because it affected the outcome of the fight, and it's never been seen before that a dude takes a knee and it's not called a knockdown, and he tells the ref, don't call it because it's going to look like a knockdown. The ref says, don't do it again, because of the status. They have a lot of status, a lot of power, a lot of similarities. And they come unhinged when they can't break you. And that's what Gervonta Tank Davis understands. That's what he learned from Mike Tyson. If I can't break you, I ain't gonna beat you. That's their biggest weapon, right? They fear you, they scare you into making mistakes, and then they clip you with their power. And if you're able to absorb that power and take their best punch, things don't work out the same. And that's what happened with Gervonta Tank Davis, right? 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 28 wins by way of knockout. Big puncher, just like Mike Tyson. But if you can withstand what they dishing out, they ain't got no plan B. They plan A from the beginning to the end. They have no plan B. They have no plan B against the highest level of opposition. Now, when they facing inferior opposition, no disrespect to the other fighters, that may land big punches like Frank Bruno. If you watch the Frank Bruno fight, where Frank Bruno landed some big punches on Mike Tyson, he showed the temperament. He showed you in that fight. He was willing to quit. Go back and watch it. He started biting his gloves. He showed you he was willing to quit. But Bruno couldn't keep it up. He couldn't keep it up. Trevor Braybank couldn't keep it up, right? Razor Ruddock, they couldn't keep it up, right? They didn't have a next level to go to. Tank showed you that with Lamont Roach, right? Lamont Roach was able to, he didn't have another level to take it to, but he was able to counter everything Tank was dishing out. He was able to pick up everything Tank put down, and he wasn't going nowhere. Tank understands that, along with the money. Along with the fact that they ain't trying to pay him, or they ain't got the money to pay him, right? He comes unhinged. He'll come unhinged. If Tank gets in there with Devin Haney or Shakur, who was his biggest rivals, right? And his fan bases and all these people saying he gonna knock them out. Nobody ever says Tank gonna outbox Shakur or Devin Haney. They say he gonna knock him out. What happens if he don't get a knockout? What happens if he don't get a knockdown? Right? His adjustments that he made against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, because he couldn't knock out Isaac Cruz, he made adjustments against Isaac Cruz, right? Could he make those adjustments against Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney? Could he make adjustments like that against them? He don't believe so. He don't believe so. He don't have the confidence. It's like Mike Tyson, like I told you. Mike Tyson would unravel, when his opponents could take his punches. He'd unravel. And that's Gervonta Tank Davis. So Max Kellerman making a comparison, it's fair, except for the accomplishments, because Mike Tyson became undisputed, unified the belts, and he beat some big names, right? Spinks was afraid. At his word, Spinks was afraid to come out the locker room before the fight. You know what I'm saying? So if they can't rattle you, they can't win. They can't win. He knows, especially seeing Devin Haney get up 3 times against Ryan Garcia, I'm going to have to knock this dude out cold. Right? Shakur Stevenson fighting in the pocket against William Zepeda. Got a tougher chin than I expected. And don't get me wrong, he's just as talented as them, and he has the X factor. But mentally, does he have the mental X factor? That's where it all got to come together. Because they'll frustrate him mentally. That's what they'll do. Right? So mentally putting it all together, when they start to frustrate him and go to a plan B, he ain't got that. Like Mike Tyson, they unravel when you can stand up to them. Period. Fair comparison. But let me know what y'all think, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.